Hello.
Hello.
Let's hope that audio is good and that they can hear us all. I'm sure they'll tell me in a moment if they can.
Not.
Probably
it's
not.
Okay it's okay if they can't.
Yeah, I mean, who wants to hear us, really? So
Nobody.
welcome to the station for patiently hating on everything that we think just sucks. We've no indication, but all good vibrations are saying we don't give a duck. This week we've got the good, the bad, the ugly, and the drunk. I'll let you decide which is which.
I'm the drunk one. I'm the
ugly one.
Then I don't know which of us is. I think Sunjammer's the good and I'm the bad. So there we go.
I'll take that.
Done.
So let's start off by Paul. It's been a bit since we had you on. I think it's been at least like 3 weeks. Welcome back.
At least 3 weeks. Yeah, thank you.
How are you doing?
I am the drunk irregular one. Regular irregular. I'm doing good. You'll notice I'm a little stuffed up because Cam is sick, so I am as a result sick. It's what happens when you get married.
Yep.
You
Can confirm.
You basically get everything your significant other has, and you just pass it back and forth for months. But I'm doing good. I reached 1 million AUEC last night.
Wow.
Oh,
a million.
Finally.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now,
Made it.
After I said, I'm like, yes, I made 1 million. Then you have people like Toby and Uber Nerd who come out and be like, I'm on like 2 million. I'm like, fuck you guys. All right. I don't play this game as much as you do. All right. I play it twice a week.
I've got other things to play. Damn it. There are other games. How about you, Sunjammer? How's your week been? You were on last week.
I was, yeah. It's been busy. Divinity Original Sin 2 came out the other night, so that ruined my chances of getting the
article you were working on?
Yeah, I was going to say the presentation that we did last week, getting that written up. It's kind of half done, so, you know.
I'm looking forward to that. It's a good one. How is Divinity?
I keep buying and playing Divinity games and then not enjoying them. I don't know why. the fighting is just chaos. You know, the whole elemental damage thing. But yeah, it's been so long since I've touched Divinity that having to get back into it. And they brought out another editor this time, so hopefully it's better than the last one and might get some modding done.
Nice.
So.
And Jake, it's been about a year and a half since we last had you on.
It's been like a month.
It's been like a month. You're like one of the staples of this show, and you've been gone for a month. I haven't known what to do without all the salt and yelling.
It's very true. No, I've been playing the new World of Warcraft content update that happened a few weeks ago, and oh my goodness, I don't know if any of y'all played that game, but pretty much, you know how the whole of Warcraft for the last 10 years, nothing really happens in the story. Like, stuff happens, but it's not of any consequence. They changed this expansion. Stuff is going down, and it is awesome. Yeah.
So I've got a question for each of you, and it's a different question for each of you. So who wants to start? Who wants a question first?
I'll go first.
Okay, Jake. When is Beefcast?
Listen, you were like, let's do it on Tuesday. And then nothing happened for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm trying to buy a house, so it's been a little chaotic. When are we doing Beefcast?
It's your fault. I don't know.
It is.
I don't have my schedule for next week.
Okay,
so
get me your schedule, and we're gonna organize a Beefcast. Who's next? Sunjammer or Paul?
I'll go next.
I'll take it.
Okay, Sunjammer. How many? Okay, no. How was transcribing Tony Z last night or yesterday?
Disappointing.
Really?
There were only 2 you-knows. They edited the rest out, or he has just stopped saying it. And there were 2 you-knows in his section, and then there were like dozens in the other sections. So all the other guys were making up for the fact that he wasn't. But yeah, when Tony Z speaks, it's just you just like melt. It's what he says. He used the word bereft. I mean, come on, it doesn't get better than that.
He actually used something other than a filler. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Now
all
we just
big
get
words and all good ones.
Now, if we can just get Sergeant Gamble to stop saying we'll like the world will be all at peace.
Or end.
Or if you
Yeah.
can get me to stop saying sorry.
Sorry, that's
I'm
not
sorry.
going to happen. You're a freaking Canadian. That
Yeah,
doesn't
it's true.
happen,
I'm
you
sorry.
know?
Sorry, I shouldn't even tried. So, Paul,
yeah.
I don't know if it's been announced or not yet, but is there something you've got planned next week?
It hasn't been announced, but it's a good point to announce it here, and we'll do it again. So, for those of you guys who don't know, we're part of the the Relay Station and Not So Sober Saturday and Captain's Table make up what we call the PodSat, Star Citizen PodSat. Because we all
PodSat?
do podcasts on Saturday, and it's all spaced just enough so that like within a couple of hours between each other, like you can like have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then sit down and watch each of these casts. And they all kind of feed into each other, because then people like myself and Jake and Erris will actually make the full rounds of all of the casts and end up being like
It's horrible.
dead by the end. It's horrible.
It's horrible.
Spending an entire day doing podcasts sucks.
And
balls.
drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drinking nonstop.
You get to the point. I was on GHG's show, and I had been drinking for like 12 hours, and
Because the worst part about it is that you drink, and then you
Stop
coast
for-
far enough so
Yeah.
that you start crashing and getting the hangover, and then drink
you
again.
drink some more.
So you end up at the end of the night like with a massive splitting headache
Yep.
and
Triple hangover.
Just
it's-
hating everything.
There was just that point. There was that point in GHG's show. I'm just sitting there like this, just kind of letting it all glaze over me.
Oh man. So, but no. So during this PodSat, we often we also have the Captain's Table, which is on after the Relay Station. And the Captain's Table, we often do themed shows. What I've been doing is taking people from, I've done an international show, we've done British shows, we've done Australian shows, and the one thing that I haven't done yet, which I realized, was a Canadian show. Oh,
So,
I can't do it today.
well, I'm gonna do Trumbling.
Thank you,
instead.
Zeusnoxia. Thank you for
Zeus.
subscribing.
Trumbling. You gotta trumble. Because that's apparently
Oh.
trumbling. Thank you, CIG. I didn't know this was trumbling.
Trumbling. Yes.
But so this next week we're gonna have a very special themed show, an all Canadian cast of Captain's Table. So we're gonna have Erris, we're gonna have Red Lear, we're going to have why am I blanking on all the names now suddenly? Nimmerfire. Have Saurus, and then we may have the very own Dutch Canadian, but we also may have some other folks you may know who are Canadians. So it's going to be an all Canadian table. We're going to get some Tim Hortons and some maple syrup and enjoy ourselves. That's,
Well, do you have any sortilege left?
I do.
Well, there you go.
I haven't
Yeah.
touched it. I haven't touched it in a while.
And as
Still
is
full.
tradition, it will not be Paul who hosts that. It'll be Juan Montoya Valdez. So I put on my full American attire and be
Ah,
like,
yes.
I am the ultimate American here on this podcast.
And we'll ask you questions about like taxes and healthcare and
We
And I'll
have
ask-
lots. We have none.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So
So
yeah, no, so Canadian Captain's Table coming up next week.
yeah, look forward to that. And also check out the Captain's Table today, which is in what, like 3 hours ish?
For 3.5 hours.
3.5 hours. So after this,
Dolvac
go
on that one.
get some food, then go back to the Captain's Table. Dolvac is probably going to yell and swear and maybe shave.
But what the cool part is that we actually have the info runners on. Both of the info runners, guys in the info podcast, are going to be coming on. So
Nice.
which is nice.
That's good. So I guess it's time for us to possibly get into some Star Citizen.
Talk about Star Citizen this podcast, man. I'm out. Peace.
Yeah, sorry. I should have let you know.
don't want none of that.
Okay, so let's talk some Star Citizen. Now, this week we had a Bug Smashers, like we have every week, and I want to get all your thoughts, and I'm going to start with Sunjammer because he transcribed the damn thing. I'm going to start with Sunjammer. Oh yeah, you transcribed all of Tony Z. Sorry.
Oh, Bug Smashers. Are we talking about Bug Smashers?
We're going to start with talking about Bug Smashers because
we transcribed that.
I guess maybe. I don't know. It's not up on the site yet, but we're working on that. It's still chaos around here right now.
We've got a skeleton crew.
Yeah, we really do. They are down to 26 blockers. Some of that, they were at 76 last week. They're down to 26 this week. Some of that is because they fixed bugs, and some of that is because they reprioritized bugs. So I want to know what each of you think about this reprioritization.
I'm with you now. You said Bug Smashers, you meant Burn Down.
Yes. Yes.
Hence my confusion. Because we did.
I said it several times, didn't I? I apologize.
We did have a Bug Smashers this week, and I'm happy to talk about it. You know.
Burn Down.
Yeah, Burn Down.
Okay, so listen. I've been saying this. I haven't been saying it on this podcast, but I've been saying this.
Because you haven't been on this podcast.
You said it on my podcast.
And I said it on Paul's podcast. And pretty much everybody's been saying this. It's like, man, guys, it doesn't have to be super polished to get to the freaking avocados. Just give it to the avocados. It'll be fine. We promise. We understand.
So are you happy that they're doing it?
Yeah. I wish they would do more, but you know, beggars can't be choosers.
Sunjammer, what do you think?
Yeah, I think they've got to the same point that we have where they want to move things along. They could spend all day because it's 26 bugs that they are going forward with. Obviously, there's more. They've just reclassified some of them as not being blockers for just now, so they can get it out to the Evocati. And then they're going to do very targeted tests, I think, so that they don't have to worry about the bugs in the mission system, or they don't have to worry about the bugs in the UI or wherever it happens to be, because they're going to start off, it's just going to be about flying, getting down into planets, landing on planets, you know, taking off again, whatever. So they're going to focus on that initially, and that'll obviously spawn a bunch of bugs in Evocati, and then they can sort of clean those up, and then they'll move on to the next thing. I think it's a sensible approach, and it gets it into the Evocati sooner rather than later, which is, I think, exactly what they said. And it just allows us to see some progress, because otherwise we're just stuck in this internal burn down, because although it's 26 bugs, you don't know how many more you're going to uncover next week. So it could easily go up, and then obviously the community might be slightly less patient than they already are.
What do you think, Paul?
I think it's a good thing. I think the main issue that they that I have with it is that, like Jake said, they didn't do it sooner. One of the big outcomes of Gamescom on the floor was even a limited demo that took 15 minutes, that was barely on one planet. That demo alone had them add like 60 bugs because they found a lot. Like, people don't know this, but the Evocati find a lot of bugs that CIG doesn't find, or they do find, but they can't replicate because of, for some reason, when it goes out to the wild for the public release, there are bugs there that don't exist in the dev branch. For some reason, some transition between the two has caused any issues, and so they have to figure out, and so many times they have to, hunt down these bugs. And they also just don't have.
Sometimes it can just be that, I mean, people have different types of computers and different computer setups and different drivers and different any kind of setup, and you can't account for the number of different PCs that are out there, or you can't count for, someone with a weird setup where they've got a keyboard and a mouse and a HOTAS, and they've got a little tiny joystick, and they've got a controller plugged in, and all of those things, like, who knows? There's so many variables that they can't.
And I think a lot of it has to do with all the connection, because CIG has really, really, really good connections. Like all of their studios have ridiculously fast connections. So it's really hard for them to judge when like you've got someone like Zeus.
Anyone
in Australia.
When you've got anyone in Australia trying to play.
Yeah. Or even in rural US where there's like trickle down internet kind of thing going on. But the biggest thing, the biggest problem I have with CIG in terms of this kind of testing is that CIG often, how to put this? I'm trying to put it in a way that doesn't make me sound like an asshole, even though I am already gonna sound like an asshole. Is they've been emphasizing, it seems like they've been emphasizing a bug fixing, which is more akin to, and polishing, more akin to a final game release than an alpha. And it's fine when it's April and you're coming out in July. That's whatever, you can do that. But when you're in August and you were supposed to have, you're in September and you should have come out 2 months ago, in your initial estimate, you got to sit down and say, okay, what's going on? Why is this happening? And this kind of polish takes 6 months. Like that's the reason why most games who go to they finish production and they take 6 months to a year just polishing the game. Blizzard is notorious for doing it for extended periods of time. Same with Valve. Like that's the reason why they have such good polished games. Not necessarily balanced and perfect, but really polished looking. Same with Nintendo games for the Switch and everything else like that. They all spend a lot of time in polish to make sure that they function great. There may be bugs, there may be other small issues, but there's usually not a whole lot. And CIG wants that level of polish, but they don't want to use the time to polish it. So for me, the biggest issue, and I think this is a correction for that, is that pushing forward, accepting that some bugs will exist and just fixing them on the go rather than you can't release anything until this is fixed. So I think this progress is going to help long term with the community, because now the community is going to say, oh, there is progress being made, because we know even though they're under NDA, these people are playing it.
So I think we're all pretty okay with the Switch too.
In fact, continue to do so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, CIG.
Just
thumbs up.
Bro, just
from We3.
Just give it to him.
And him.
Just give it to him. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
Yep. I don't want to know what the avocados play. I don't want to have any indication. I know a number of them. I don't want to speak to them or know what they're playing or see any of their shit leaked.
I see what it is, Erris. You don't want to talk to me again. Is that it?
No, I want to talk to you about non-avocado things. I don't want any avocado stuff in my brain because it's not what I'm going to get to play.
Avocado toast.
Avocado on burgers, maybe, but there's no other good use for an avocado. And don't anyone say guacamole, because...
Pizza.
What?
Yeah,
No.
Avocados on pizza is pretty good.
Put avocado on your pizza.
You'll put avocado on a pizza, but you'll tell me I'm crazy and insane for putting pineapple on one? What the fuck is wrong with you?
I don't like pineapple.
There's
I
nothing wrong
understand
with
why
pineapple
people like pineapple on pizza, but I'm not one of those people.
Both are wrong.
Pineapple on pizza is a Canadian thing. I'm gonna sit
literally,
there.
It was literally invented by the Canadians. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit there next week with my beer and my sortilege and some maple syrup. I'm gonna drizzle maple syrup on my Hawaiian pizza and eat it in front of you.
That being said, the
That's it.
restaurant that I work at, the restaurant that I work at makes pretty darn good Hawaiian pizza. It's good. It's got bacon.
Tell them, yeah, that's actually not Hawaiian. That's Polynesian.
Whatever. It's got ham too.
Yeah, that's Polynesian. Polynesian
it's
pizza
got-
is bacon, ham, and pineapple.
And it's got onions.
That's heathen. That is sacrilege. What the hell?
What's
Okay.
wrong with you? What's wrong
So,
with onions? Don't you be hating on onions right now?
Do you guys think that they've only got 26? They've got 26 bugs.
Moving on. I'm not moving on.
Let's
Don't be
transition.
trash talking about onions.
Let's transition to something else that's actually pretty cool. Talking about onions, is actually the food system which now is going to affect your stamina system. How
Oh,
about that? How about that? You can have your pineapple pizza
And eat it too.
and eat it too in the game.
CIG, I swear to God. It's pineapple pizza.
Please put it in the game. Please put it in the game. It would cause the most crazy
Pandemonium.
avocado
Reddit
toast,
threads.
avocado toast, and pipineapple pizza. Those two things
you
need to happen.
gotta put avocado toast in
The
there.
game is virtually
Mandatory.
unplayable.
Also, salt. There needs to be a food item that's just salt.
Salt.
Salt. It does nothing for you.
It actually makes you breathe harder. It makes you
Yeah.
run through your oxygen faster. Oh my. Welcome to whatever the hell this is if you're just joining us, because I don't even know. Let's talk a little bit about the mission system. Now, Sunjammer, you transcribed Tony talking about
Yes.
the mission system. How was that? What did you get from Tony from that ATV?
Not a huge amount of from Tony. He obviously talked a bit about how he doesn't like purely procedural content.
Yeah.
Shots fired.
Good. Those are shots that need to be fired.
Yeah. So he was saying he didn't like purely procedural content. They use a lot of procedural tech, but they use it just to create the background or the canvas on which the handcrafted stuff can be painted. And then I think it was David Pollard. Rick Welsh, I think it was talking about how Tony really wants the universe to be interactive and responsive to the player, rather than just being, oh, you turned up and there was this scripted event that's always there happening.
It's not a
So I like
theme park
that.
MMO.
Yeah,
There were two problems I had with his discussion. First off, his discussion about Tessa, which I know he made.
Luke. Yeah.
Luke made. Luke, talked about how proud he was about Tessa. I'm sorry, Luke. Tessa's a fucking sociopath. All right.
Hey, what is wrong with sociopaths?
There's nothing wrong with.
Don't be dissing Garbage Woman.
But I'm just
No, wait,
saying.
she's a psychopath. Sorry, carry on.
Psychopath. Difference.
Yeah, but she's a lovable sociopath.
Ah,
She's a
yes.
lovable. So she sounds cute, which is why
functioning.
people like it. But it's
Yeah.
like it's like I really hope that we get Tessa coming back and you can actually go visit her, and she's just like a huge blob of a person because she's just been living inside a pod, like for years, and so she's just been eating like Big Bennies, and so she ends up being like, "Hi, I'm Tessa," and it's like
She
she
has.
rolls towards you instead of like walks. Just to shatter the illusion of this image that people have of
Keep
Tessa.
rolling and rolling.
But no, but seriously, Luke, a human being doesn't go, "Oh, is this a serious thing?" and then listen to a woman crying with explosions and fire in the background. That's no human being thinks that it has to ask somebody else, "Oh, this is serious, right?" It's like, no, of course you know that's serious. It's What the fuck, man? Come on. But secondly, his statement, which I actually I think is a terrible statement to push from, which is the whole like, you'll never have the same experience twice. I'm like, please don't. Oh God, why did you say that? Why did you No Man's Sky claim this? Because someone is going to take that claim and run with it, and then
Watch us have the same experience twice. We're gonna do it.
It's gonna happen, and people are going to like make 10-minute videos about how CIG lied, and they're going to take that one quote and then put it over and over again.
I think he did actually clarify by saying
He did caveat it.
He did, yeah, he did caveat it by saying not in 3.0. But
Yes, he did. But the clip is
I still think, yeah.
It's still not great. He did caveat it by saying this isn't going to happen in 3.0, but someday down the road we want to never have you.
Launch,
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, it is a bad. That's one of the kind of things that if it came out of Chris's mouth, you'd be like, Chris, no, stop.
Here's
Chris,
the thing.
don't.
Here's the thing. Like, it's okay that people have the same experience twice. It's expected, in fact.
That's why. Look at freaking like Call of Duty and
Look at every
Destiny.
MMO ever.
Yeah.
and World of Warcraft. These are all really highly
I do daily
acclaimed games.
quests
Yeah.
every
Exactly
day.
the same. Yeah.
They're the same.
And even if it's technically it is correct, and you never actually can have the same quest or the same mission, the exact same mission with all exactly the same parameters twice, that doesn't make any difference
Close.
really if the differences are trivial.
If
Yeah.
the difference
You know.
is if the difference is sometimes you'll have this encounter and it'll be 2 pirates. And
Yeah.
then the next time it'll be 3 pirates. And the next time it'll be 4 pirates and 1 security person. And the next time it'll be 77 pirates and you're fucked.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. This is where something that actually Chris brought up early on in the in the whole like funding thing, where he was inspired by Shadows of Mordor's Nemesis system.
Yes.
That's where that makes things interesting. If you beat the same pirate twice and they start coming back and saying, "Fuck you, asshole! You've blown me up twice, but now I brought in 16 of my buddies, you motherfucker!" Or they start
And they
sending a bounty
start
hunters after
trying
you.
And
to
I've got a bigger, badder ship. with
Yeah,
and, like,
missiles.
you encounter them
Like,
once.
You blew me up with missiles.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Saying, like, doing the same thing over and over and over again,
Madness?
the exact same thing, is one extreme, right?
Isn't that the definition
CIG
of madness?
CIG has this
Only if
is
you
not
expect
this is
different
not
results.
Far Cry 3.
Okay,
is not Far Cry
sorry,
3.
yeah.
CIG has proceeded to now say the other end of it, that you will never have the same experience twice. What is perfectly acceptable, not even acceptable, like totally great and fine and wonderful, is like right here in the middle,
This big space in the
where there's like sometimes you end up having to do the same thing again, but there's enough variety there that you don't care.
Yeah.
And like I'm gonna bring this back to World of Warcraft because it's on my brain because I've been playing it. But what they did in this most recent expansion is instead of daily quests, like I was talking about, is what people know from World of Warcraft and most MMOs. There's daily quests. You do the same thing. They have a concept called world quests, where it's a group of probably like 30 to 40 quests per zone in the end game zones, right? And they rotate every day. So you might play like the same mission every week, but between that mission and the second time you play it, you've done like 50 other quests.
I've been looking into Destiny a lot because I'm really excited for Destiny 2, even though I never played the first one. But isn't that kind of something that they sort of do, where every week they roll content? There's new shit every week, right?
Yes.
There's a new quest like a new main quest that you have to do every week, and it makes you go back to the old spaces you initially went through, and it has new
New
like,
stuff.
hey, kill new stuff. Sometimes it's kill 50,
Dudes.
yeah, they're not called vandal. They're not called vandals, but they're called something similar, like straight up like
Vandals.
Dudes.
I can't remember the name of them, but they're not vandals, but they're named after like an old Germanic tribe that the Romans fought, not the Vandals though.
Visigoths?
But they're not Visigoths, but it's something like that.
Okay.
Can't remember whether but essentially the same kind of like same inspiration CIG pulled. But you kill like maybe 50 of their commanders, so you have to go around the map and find these commanders, and they spawn randomly. So it's a little bit different, and the advantage of that as well is that in Destiny you may be running around trying to do this mission, and you may run into somebody who's doing the same mission. You just be like, "Yo, let's do this shit
Join up,
together."
yeah.
They're like, "All right, cool." And I think in Star Citizen, the one thing they can learn from that specifically is this game, and I've said this before, is this game will be defined by its quiet moments, by the moments when you're not shooting the shit out of something, the moments when you're like, man, I got nothing to do. Let's figure out how FOIP works, more in depth, or anything else like that. So, like having 50 missions where you just haul cargo and nothing happens is important, because that 51st mission, fucking everything hits the fucking fan, and you have 50 fucking pirates chasing after you, and suddenly it's an important moment. Like
The
those
things-
normal average quests, those fetch quests are okay, and then when everything goes bad, that's when you start realizing
It's
that
called pacing, ladies and gentlemen.
I didn't really like. I mean, I haven't really played 2.6 much at all. Like, I don't play much Star Citizen, but I really liked going through that derelict station and finding all the audio logs, and just everything's floating, and you're floating.
That was 2.0, man. That's
Yeah,
that's been
but
there
like
for a long
it's
time.
been for a while. But in the 2 point whatever series, like that was my favorite piece of it. And I've been looking at like gameplay videos that they've shown. You know, they'll show people shooting people on ground and you know, ship battles and stuff. And the things that I like most is when they're like it's just completely silent and there's a derelict and it's completely destroyed, and it's like, what happened here? And you get to go in and
See, that right there, you know how, like, I don't know how long ago it was, but remember when everyone was in a tizzy that CIG wasn't going to make exploration mean anything for a little bit?
yeah. You mean when they're always like that?
Yeah. The first mission they put in 2.0 is an exploration mission that is awesome. I think they're going to do okay.
Yeah.
But then the second one was a lovable sociopath.
yeah. Which, I mean,
So, you know,
I've written about lovable psychopaths, and they're fun.
Garbage Woman is not lovable.
She is
Not
totally
lovable,
lovable.
Don't even
Man,
at all
She's-
say
she's-
her
lovable.
cat loves
She's-
her,
she's-
and you
if
can't
she's-
prove otherwise.
If she's lovable, then Lorraine Bobbitt is a fucking like is a fucking like you know.
I
Miss
humanized
America
her.
and it-
I humanized her in the end. I never finished that, actually. I stopped writing. God, I should write again. Let's actually
Good deal.
talk a little bit about exploration, because they released an article yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
robertspaceindustries.com/comlink/engineering 16122 CitizenCon 2947 exploring new worlds. It's like a little ad for CitizenCon, right? And it says some interesting things in there. Now, one, its title is Exploring New Worlds. Two, it is sponsored by Consolidated Outland, Aegis Dynamics, the UEE Diplomatic Corps, Compass Magazine, and Electronic Access. It's going to discuss exploring beyond the known frontier, and it's going to showcase emergent technology, security protocols, and helpful social skills when venturing into the great unknown. I'm just gonna go out on a limb here before I get you guys to chime in. But do any of you possibly think that means, oh hey, they're gonna show off exploration and like emotes and shit like that, and how to lock your ship at fucking CitizenCon?
I mean, locking your ship is going to be in 3.0, so.
But other stuff like what was
Most
it?
are already in.
Well, I mean, we've got things like hacking, which maybe maybe just
Security
showed off.
protocols.
Jump
I
points.
want
maybe
some
show
freaking
off.
breaching charges. That's what I want.
You know, more than likely we'll see FOIP again. You know, as
Yeah.
much as and that's actually what kind of pisses me off. It's like FOIP was cool, you know, during Gamescom, but now they're bringing these guys back to hawk their $250 camera again, and calling it like this some sort of like brand new like tech, when it's like this tech is new for Star Citizen, but it's been in games since Guild Wars 2. It's not
The
brand new.
camera is genuinely different than most other webcams, and honestly, I might get one.
How though?
It's
than the
there is one difference.
One difference, yeah.
Yep.
It's not wide angle lens.
Oh, it's
Most
just the
webcams are a wide angle lens,
angle,
and
yeah.
quite frankly, I don't need a wide angle lens when all I care about it seeing is my
Is my
face.
Yeah, that
Like-
might be, but I don't know if it's gonna be worth the money. Like, because at the end of the day, I can get a, you know, like what I just did now. Like, I can do this again. Let me Papa Dolvac this real quick.
Oh
There we
no!
go.
Everyone, cover your ears.
He's going to
No,
be
this is-
shaving his eyebrows
yeah.
before we know it.
I can I can do this, and now it's no longer a wide-angle lens. It's just a.
But it reduces quality to do that, right?
No, not really. Not with Logitech's technology.
I don't know.
It requires refocusing a little bit, but it's not too bad if you have it at a static way. And
It's going to depend on the price, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
I
I
have
look
no
at
reason. I have no reason to get one. I have
No.
$100 Logitech
Yeah.
webcam.
that's
Logitech-
the Logitech C920 is fantastic.
Yep.
It's
That's what
1080p.
I've
It's
got.
60 frames a second. It's wide angle, but
It's
who
$100
cares?
when I bought
It's
it.
$100.
No, it's now $60. The C922, which is the streamer edition,
Yeah.
is 720p, 60 FPS, whereas the original one was not 60 FPS.
Yep.
But at the same time, you don't need anything better than that, and that's less. It's usually like last time I looked it up, it was like $102 US. So we're talking about like technology. It's not like this is brand new technology, and everything they said is nothing. Like, and I'm sorry to pull this off, but this has been my one of my big pet peeves. Is like the only thing that I can see that's the advantage of this camera is that it has RSI on it, and it's built
I
for
can-
the FOIP.
I can
That's it.
see some other advantage. Like it is built for the FOIP, and I might want it because all I do is this podcast. I don't care if it has a wide angle lens, whatever. I probably won't buy a new one because I've got the Logitech. But if it's $100, maybe. What is
I'm not saying
interesting? Like it's not anything groundbreaking. But, and here's something that I think is kind of interesting. It's a lot of technology that we've seen before in other cameras. It's a lot of standard stuff. It's good to have, which is actually a lot different than the HOTAS that they were planning. Because the HOTAS had stuff that we'd never seen before in a
Yeah.
HOTAS, like a touchscreen LCD, right? Like that stuff was
OLED.
OLED screen. Like that shit was insane.
Mhm.
This
also like trackball on the
trackball on
yeah.
like just fucking insane. This at least it sounds like a normal fucking webcam at least.
Yeah.
The only other issue I have with that is that it's also made by a company that's never made a webcam before.
Yes, but
So what's the support like? If it breaks,
no.
do I have 24-hour support that I can talk to? Because I know Logitech has it that I can go to right now. I'm not even trying to shill for Logitech. I'm just saying there are companies out there that make the same camera for cheaper.
By Cytec.
Yes, they did.
Okay.
yeah,
It's now called the Logitech. The
So-
Logitech Cytec X.
one of the
X series.
questions is
here's-
it made by Faceware?
Yes, that's another question. Yeah.
Is it made by Faceware or is this a Logitech camera?
No, it's a Faceware.
It's
camera.
face. Okay.
So, all right, two things. One, if you have a webcam, don't buy this camera.
No.
Just don't. Unless it's from 2002, don't buy this. Don't buy this camera. Like if you're looking
to upgrade,
if
yeah.
you're looking to replace your webcam, it might be an option for you. Two, speaking of the HOTAS, now that Logitech owns Cytec, we might not have seen the last of the Star Citizen joystick and throttle.
As I stated
RSI has worked with Logitech several times.
But as I stated in my review of the Cytec X56 Rhino at the very bottom of that review, which you can go and see on relay.sc if you want, we don't actually know who kept the rights to Star Citizen stuff. We don't know if Logitech got it because
definitely not
Logitech-
Mad Cats
No,
because
they did confirm. They confirmed that Logitech is now the inheritor of that contract.
okay, they did.
Oh.
Excellent,
Mhm.
excellent. That's good.
Toast said, legally speaking, they're the inheritor of the contract, and they either have to agree to the contract because of the way that the way the mergers work. So they either have to make it, or if they don't, then they have to pay CIG reparations for breaking contract. And
I mean, they're probably
it's-
also still in the process of merging that company.
in
um,
fact, they
That
even
does not
stopped-
happen overnight.
like Logitech, for instance, now has branded all of the Cytec gear Logitech Cytec, and it's the X52 and the X56. They have stopped support for the X55. The X55 is no longer. It's either the X56 or the X55 are the one and twos that
I hope
doesn't
that
get
they
support
canceled
anymore.
the F56 because the F56 is fucking garbage.
And
The Rhino.
the one
anyway.
thing,
Anyway, sorry.
the one thing I do like about Logitech, and I think this is going forward is going to be important for Star Citizen, is that Logitech has a really exacting standard. I bought this camera 2 years ago when the C922 came out.
Yeah.
It's fucking perfect. Like I have two C920s that my wife uses for streaming. One for her like well, she's like drawing, and one just as a face cam. Both of them, one of them is 5 years old. The other one is like 3 years old, and they're still working fine. There's no problem.
My C920 is a launch C920, and it still works just fine.
So the one thing that Cytec had a problem with was quality. And Logitech is fucking quality. Like that's literally their brand is we're cheap, but we're quality.
Just the only thing is, don't buy a Logitech headset. In fact, don't ever buy any gaming headset, because gaming headsets are trash.
Suck.
Sennheiser.
Yeah, Sennheiser. This is what happens after less than a year with a Razer
Gaming
wireless
headset. Yeah. This thing.
This broke.
That being said, this right here is in one of the original Astro A50s.
Mm-hmm.
It works just fine, and I've had it for 6 years. The only downside to it, the only downside to this thing is that the battery is starting to lose its life.
That's the other thing. You'll never guess
That's
who bought Astro recently.
Was it Logitech? Oh.
So Logitech is in the process of like buying every peripheral company that's failing.
Astro has not been doing well recently.
I've been wearing these things for like 6 fucking years.
Well, Sennheiser is also you get what you pay for. They're like $600 headsets, but fuck, they work.
They work, and they work for fucking ever, and they sound really fucking good. Okay, let's move on.
Star Citizen.
Let's. Sorry for the talk about stuff.
Well, the important part about that is that it's important to note going forward that the quality assurance for your peripherals that you can use for Star Citizen is going to go up, and the relationships that CIG has with these companies is going to be very important.
I actually thought that with Mad Catz, because people have said that Mad Catz fighting sticks were really good.
They are.
Yeah, that quality didn't transfer over to Cytec's HOTAS.
That's because Cytec has garbage.
Yeah, but when Mad Catz bought Cytec, I thought that quality would transfer over to their HOTAS, the X56 Rhino. It did not. The Rhino.
Cytec had actually really good quality. Then Mad Catz bought them and then replaced their QA staff with different ones. So and then that's when the quality dipped. Like the old X50, like the X52 when that was released, is when Mad Catz bought it.
Okay.
Okay,
let's get back to a little bit about the mission system, because they talked a bunch about the mission system and subsumption this week in ATV. Is there anything you guys want to remark about that? Because it all seemed really good to me. I don't know if there's much we can talk about when it comes down to it. It's just Tony Zurovec.
A lot to discuss there.
It's basically just saying that like the mission system is awesome and we can't.
It's gonna be good,
It's
y'all.
gonna be good. Sunjammer, any thoughts?
The bit I really liked about it was the support tools that they have for it. So they told us about Subsumption Editor, which we've seen bits and pieces, which is their visual scripting tool. And I've been going through this week's ATV and taking a few screenshots. That'll surprise you. Just trying to learn as much as I can about it, but I haven't had a chance to really analyze it. But they also were talking about the Subsumption visualizer that they developed. And originally it started off because they wanted to be able to debug two people at the same time and check their activities, and they couldn't do it on screen, so they created this tool. Then they added mission debugging to it, and then they added the conversation tab to it, and all this good stuff that allows them to essentially jump into any point in a mission or a conversation and run it from that point, which is a huge advantage when you're trying to debug something, or even just if you're developing it and you want to get the lighting just so, or make sure the animations are just right, and you don't have to play the whole mission. Because I've done some modding in my time, and you always ended up making a little debug tool where you could jump around your campaign or whatever, and you could like go to whatever chapter, because trying to play the whole thing from start to finish was just a disaster. So they've developed that, and it's obviously on steroids. So I love seeing all the debug tools that they create. So that was really good. I'm gonna dive into that and see what they're actually doing in there.
I'm actually excited about the modding possibility for that, because going forward, when they actually release modding tools, a lot of these tools that they're creating seem like they could be modified to be given to modders to create their own missions or their own, stories and characters.
One thing they've also kind of talked about a bit is us eventually being able to create our own missions in game. Like, we will be able to set our own missions. It's like,
yeah, like
I
give it to
can
other players.
I can put a bounty out on Jake's head.
And why wouldn't you?
Well, I'm going to. It's the first thing I'm going to do when that system comes in. He knows it.
I will put a bounty out on everyone in Relay's head, and my payment will be 1 beer, so that I can drag Jake back to the bar. And I don't want you to kill him. Just capture him, bring him back here, and force him to pay his fucking tab. Because it's astronomical at this point.
Astronomical?
Astronomical. And Jake is dead.
We killed Jake. But, like, I'm excited. I really can't wait to see what they eventually do release to the modders to be able to put fucking Starship Enterprises into your own private fucking game, which is going to be great, because that there's going to be someone who's going to model the entire Enterprise D. What? Oh God, Jake, what are you?
He's got it.
I'm showing Brivals how everything's hooked up.
But like, there's going to be at least one person who models the entire Enterprise D in Star Citizen with all the rooms, and then you're going to be able to walk through the entire fucking thing. Yeah, if you look,
Falcon, a Star Destroyer.
Yeah, you look at what people modded into Freelancer. People are going to do that for Star Citizen. So I can't wait until it hits like the modding community. But I'm really excited for in-game missions as well. To be like, you know what? I'm lazy right now. I don't want to go pick up my hull because it's 14 systems away. I'm going to pay someone to give them the access to my ship to fly it out to me here so that I don't have to do that, because that is tedious. Bring me my ship, slave.
That was the last time you saw it. I think there's a fair chance we might see things like that. If you look at the UI for the equipment manager that we looked at last week, and you look at the presentation they did, I think it was back in April or March time, they did an ATV on character customization, and the plugin that they used for CryEngine or Lumberyard, call it what you will, the plugin that they created for that, so the tool that they had was very similar to the UI that we ended up in game. So they could do a similar thing with the mission system, where the UI that we get for the mission system could be a slightly cut down version of what they're currently using with in the subsumption editor. Possibly.
Yeah. So I'm gonna let everyone that's watching currently know to head over. There's a link in chat. Ask us some questions. We're gonna get to questions.
I'm gonna pee.
We're gonna I was gonna ask you a question, but fine, run away.
away.
So hey Jake, I'm kind of wondering. It's been about a month since you've been on. What are your thoughts about the development of Star Citizen and how it's progressed in the past month since you were last on the show? I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Apparently, Jake has turned into a woman. And is now
Jake has
laughing.
turned into a laughing woman. Yes. How about you, Paul? What are your thoughts on the past month or so or two of CIG development? What do you think?
Glaciers move faster. I don't mean that as a bad way either. We're in a situation where like bug fixing just takes time, and you have no idea how long it's going to take. Like they may fix 100 fucking bugs in a week, and then there are 20 or 30 more that are created. So it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So when you come to a situation where you quite literally have development going in circles at times, but you can't do it any other way. So I think it's been slow, but
Steady.
there's no other way to doing it. Yeah, it's steady but slow. So that's as a result. There's not a lot of like flashy wow for people like us who do like content for Star Citizen and news. It's been like, well, we're going over the freaking outpost for the 4th time in the last 3 months. But hey, why not? Let's talk about the outpost some more. Though I think we're climbing out of that. I think in the next month or so, it seems like we're finally climbing out of it towards the future. Which, as Jake would say, I'm interested in Star Citizen, not an Alpha 3.0.
Star Citizen 1.0. You
Yeah.
nailed it, Paul. You did it. All right, 2 things. One, my mic isn't attached to my headphones, so
you can't
God.
see on stream like me.
You haven't yet. I'm waiting.
I was laughing at all of you, so there's that. 2, yeah, like, I mean, obviously development is happening. We just don't know anything about it. So I don't really have any comment other than I'd like to know about the game's development. Not just
Sunjammer?
3.0's development.
Yeah, what we're seeing with 3.0, development-wise, there's no progress. I mean, we're fixing bugs. That's as Paul said, that's where we are with that. What I'm more interested in, and which we don't know anything about really, is what's being done on 3.1 and beyond, because we know they are doing things on that, and what's being done on Squadron 42, because we don't know anything about that. So, I mean, Cloud Imperium Games is a big company now. I mean, I think they were banning about the number of 500, but we know it's definitely over 400.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of developers. They're not all working on 3.0.
It's also important to note that they have well over 400 employees, and they're still hiring.
Yeah.
If you have
Extensively
experience
hiring.
in the video game industry or would like to get into it, check out cloudimperiumgames.com. They have a hiring board. You could be the next CIG employee. This advertisement was not paid for by CIG in any way, shape, or form.
No,
That we were admitting to.
we just really want the game to be out. But it is important to note that they are actually hiring pretty extensively. However, they're not really hiring in the U.S. They're hiring in
Overseas, Frankfurt.
UK. and UK. So, in Germany and the UK.
Yeah, because our government's giving them money to hire people.
It's true.
Yeah.
Tax breaks.
We here at Relay are unpaid shows.
Can I get the document?
What document?
The question document.
Oh, yeah. Give me a second. I'm about to start talking, asking him. One second. Where's too many windows?
You don't
open.
even have it, you dingle.
I have it open. I just had to find Discord. Okay, so we've got a few questions from last week actually that we didn't get to.
because someone kept talking about it.
Yeah,
Someone
someone
wouldn't shut up.
Someone asshole wouldn't shut up. Weird.
God damn it. I'm glad you didn't invite them back this week.
Yeah, I'm glad I got rid of them too.
Yeah.
Fastcart asks, Erris, how is your toe? It was actually doing really well until Thursday when I played hockey and re-broke it. So it's actually been really painful to walk the past 2 days because I re-broke my toe.
You played hockey with a broken toe?
Actually, I played hockey on Tuesday and Thursday with the broken toe.
With a broken toe. That's like playing baseball with a broken arm. It's like why? You're going to hurt yourself.
Why? Because I'm a goalie, and if I don't show up, my team can't play. So I sacrifice myself for the Canadian good.
The greater good.
The greater good. Spaceship Training Wheels asks, so our breathing is now controlled through the ASS system. Apparently I have to blame Board Gamer for that.
That's where I breathe out of.
Hey, listen. You know what? We just got to make sure that we're paying close attention to the ASS system. We have to be very detailed. And you know what? I'd rather have a bigger ASS system than a smaller ASS system because I like big ASS, and I cannot lie.
And I'm really hoping that they don't leave any holes in the ASS system, and if there are any, that they plug them.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't want air escaping out of those.
No, you don't want anything getting out of that ASS system.
That's a butt joke, everyone.
Thank you, Jake.
So Arterich asks or
Wrote
says,
a novel.
This one may take me a while.
I have to make the.
Yeah.
Can I? Is it a statement or a question? Because that happens all
I'm
the
ready to
time on the
transcribe.
captain's table. You know.
Let's wrap the text. Wait, is the text
Where
wrapping?
is the wrap text?
There
button?
it is. Okay. Here we go.
Okay.
Last week there was a discussion about food and water consumption by characters and how that would work on a fully stocked ship. What do you think of the hand wavium idea where the player can eat or drink manually for buffs, or if a player logs out in a safe, fully stocked area, the character is automatically eating, drinking, or bathing while the player is logged out?
Those are two systems.
Yes.
So so I proposed a system months ago, which I called it the passive food system. The idea being that you don't actually have to sit there and go like, drink every 5 minutes like an arc or something like that.
Yeah.
But
Drink?
You also, yeah. But you also don't have to. It's not one of those things where just like you forget about it because it happens so infrequently. By having like a zone in your area where both NPCs and players will just slowly consume food and like consume supplies, but you don't actually have to see them doing it. It retains immersion because you're like, oh fuck, my supplies are low. I probably need to go back and, so it requires you to double check on your supplies and inventory your systems, but at the same time, not turning it into a face stuffing simulator like Rust or DayZ, where like every 5 minutes they remind you that you're hungry again. Then of course you can also eat for buffs slightly later on, like the ability to consume food right before a mission. That way like you're going to have slightly buffs to stamina and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
I like the food system in PUBG.
I do too. That's
There is
only,
no food. It's just pills.
Only the winner gets
the
to
chicken.
chicken dinner.
No, I've been saying, Paul, that thing that you're saying there, I've been saying for a long time, and actually CIG have said too. They are on record saying one of the ideas that they had been working on was that if you're on a ship and the ship is stocked, you don't need to eat. It automatically subtracts from the food stores. It's not like you have to go there and make food every 3 hours because you're hungry. It just, you eat. And then if you run out of food, then you start getting hungry because you're not auto eating anymore. Or if you crash land somewhere, you have to scavenge. That's the kind of gameplay I'm interested in. If you've got it stocked up, we're not going to make it tedious for you. But if you're a fucking idiot and you forget to pack food and water before you go out on a giant exploration journey and then you crash your ship, good fucking luck, bro.
That's the big thing that I think is important. I think food and water, and I know Captain Richard and I disagree on this. Like we butt heads on this fact alone, which is I think that food and water is a system to counter how lucrative long range missions can be. Because like a long range exploration mission, if you don't have to buy food and water for NPCs or players, means that you can literally go out, explore, find a bunch of shit, fill your cargo hold full of this shit, and then come back, not only sell your data for exploration, but you can also sell this other cool shit you found, and suddenly you're like double or triple profit.
Sorry, Jake and I are having an argument in chat. Sunjammer, what do you think?
Well, yeah, we discussed this. It wasn't last week.
Last week, yeah.
Yeah. And we know that Chris Roberts kind of hinted at that at one point where he said if you crash land, you don't actually have to find food and water per se. It's finding a pool of food and water. So you've got that resource, and we kind of move that on to that would be interesting for having your ship. You've got to have supplies on board, so your crew can eat and drink, and it's part of crew management, and that keeps their morale up. And if you don't, and if you skimp on the food, then maybe you have to pay them more or they don't perform as well. So from that point of view, it's interesting. I'm not really a huge fan of the whole idea that if you have a sandwich before you go into the fight, you've got a bit more stamina, you get a buff, or if you drink this particular drink, then there'll be drugs. So I guess it's just a variation on that.
Yeah, my point was like that is that it's like the drug system, only you can't get addicted to it, or it takes longer to get addicted to them. And the other thing,
smaller buff presumably.
And the other thing that it does is it opens up a brand new like profession possibility, which is cook.
Hey, I was saying, I think I said last week actually, we were talking about what the game-changing ship must be, and I've got my actual thought for what the game-changing ship must be, which I've said every week for the past 5 weeks. Construction, yeah, you're with me there. But what I also think it should be is motherfucking Fifth Element food trucks.
Food trucks, man. Space roach coaches. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I want my taco trucks. All right, space taco trucks.
Jake, what's that?
That looks like a VR headset.
So
connector.
So all right, it's the USB. The only Logitech product I own is the webcam that I'm using.
Is that a Logitech USB?
What?
Okay.
Are you sure you don't own any other Logitech?
I'm pretty sure. Unless Katie bought something. Oh, it's just okay.
Oh, you idiot. What is it? Oh, it's the extender for a mouse. Okay.
Yeah.
Idiot. Okay, so Commander Hellfire asks a question in chat. Normally we only take the questions. Normally we only take the questions from the chat document, but this is something I kind of wanted to talk about a bit this week.
You want to talk about salt this week?
I do actually want to talk a little bit about salt. I've got two of the Salt Kings here with me. The question is more specifically about lots of negative videos of Star Citizen. Is there someone trying to get people angry and think of Star Citizen in a negative light? Of course. My thing here, and I don't care about whoever it might be. I think it's more important for. There was a lot of talk this week about refunds.
One refund in particular, I think.
Can I say something real quick?
Paul, you can start. Yeah, you can start, and then we'll see what Jake has to say, and then I'm gonna.
My personal belief throughout all of gaming is that refunds need to be a thing, not just in Star Citizen, but for every single. It needs to be a standard practice.
I am so glad that Steam has that.
Yeah, and Origin has it too. It's a pretty good system. But I think more companies need to have it, because when I worked at GameStop, the number of people who bought brand new games and came back and were like, "Fuck, this game was terrible," or "This was broken."
Yeah.
Like the only thing you could get was maybe a new copy, but they're like, "Fuck it," you walked out the door. It's like a car. You walked out the door with it and you opened it up. Now it's $30 less.
Yeah.
And we could buy it back from you, but you can't return it.
I'd give them as much credit as when I worked at Microplay, which was basically like a GameStop with morals. I'd give them everything.
It's a Canadian GameStop, is what you're trying to say.
It's Canadian GameStop. I would give them anything I could. Like, I would give them full credit plus a bit in credit, or I'd give them full cash plus a bit in cash, because I was there all the time. I knew that they had just bought it. But also, you can't sell a new game in physical copy as a not new game, right? Which sucks. Yeah. But sorry, carry on.
But here's the thing: is that, like, honestly, the realities of gaming is that there are plenty of games out there that are shady as shit. They come in, No Man's Sky the shit out of it, and then people get pissed when they can't get a refund, or it takes a fucking song and dance to get a refund. So personally, I think refunds are an important thing, because it's a check against terrible developers and horrible publishing practices. Because if publishers are forced into doing more refunds and developers are forced to accept more refunds as well, it means that they're going to be, it's another like check against them trying to run a hype train on us to buy a game that's shit. and it's happened more times than not in the last 10 years, that the hype train has been there specifically. It's why I'm wary of hype trains. It's even with Star Citizen. When CIG starts, and I've had this before, where CIG employees have straight up told me, get hyped, and my response is, no, you can't do this, because every time you've done this, I've always been let down. I am not going to get hyped for it. I'm going to stay within the bounds of recommendation. So I think that refunds are important. Now, that being said, I think people glorify refunds in Star Citizen because they want to like lash out at the man and stick it where he needs it. And it's like, CIG's not the man. Yes, they have $160 million making a game. Bungie had $500 million, including advertising for making a game on several different platforms. GTA 5 has fuck tons of money, like buckets
Call of Duty.
of money.
Call of Duty. Look at their look at their fucking ads for the game. It's not even the game itself. It's a fucking ad, and it's got like what AAA movie stars can we get in this ad? Because we're fucking Call of Duty.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is that like,
I don't know, man. Destiny's replaced Call of Duty with that nonsense.
It has.
It has. Not
but that's
disagreeing there.
But you know who publishes Destiny? Fucking Activision, the same people who publish Call of Duty. So at the end of the day, is there a difference?
Guess what? The developers aren't in charge of marketing.
Nope. But that's the thing, is that people seem to assume that CIG is this big bad that's trying to make a ton of money. And when reality is that if anyone who's ever met the guys who are making it, they are utter, complete, unforgivable nerds.
Yep.
They love the game, and they are really passionate about what they're doing, and they're very stick to it. But they are not people who are very good at talking to other people.
Most of them are taking pay cuts. Most of them could be doing what they're doing at CIG at another developer for more money.
Hell, I know at least one of my friends who worked at CIG now, but didn't work like when I first met him, he didn't work at CIG, and he moved over to CIG. He took a huge pay cut. He moved to a new city, and he took like a 50% pay cut to work at CIG because he believed in it. He believes in the project, and that dude he's passionate as fuck. But the point being is that I think people, when they glorify refunds, are doing a disservice to them, because like refunds aren't a bad thing, and in fact, it's to the point where if you ask for a refund, they say, "Hey, we're getting along. We're doing something. We're working on it.
Are you sure?
Are you sure?" And they go, "Yes." And they go, "Okay, cool." And they just process it. It just takes some time for them to process. This isn't like a Steam. Well, even Steam's worse about it.
This isn't something I've talked to anyone before, but I actually do know some people that have refunded because of various things that were happening. They needed a refund, and literally all I've heard of is I asked them and I explained the situation, and they said, "Yeah, okay," and they refunded it. Like, I know people that have refunded.
Mm-hmm. I mean, most famously, Toby had a refund because he had a medical issue.
Yeah,
and he had a refund, but it wasn't an issue. Toby is probably more active on Star Citizen than like half of the community is in terms of like everywhere. The man is fucking everywhere, and yet he asked for a refund because of the issues he had.
And they understood, and they said yes.
Yeah.
So Jake, do you have any thoughts?
That's why I don't understand the glorification of these refunds.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't.
Do you have any thoughts on the whole schmozzle this week?
Well, for one, the schmozzle was fake news.
It was. Hashtag.
So
actually,
there's that.
Genuine fake news.
Yeah, actual fake news. But second of all, pretty much refunds got to be a thing. And you should be able to do it for any reason. It doesn't matter, because as long as we don't have a finished product in our hands, it should be possible to get a refund. I really like the stuff that Origin and GOG have been doing for their refunds, and I think that should be a thing. But But yeah, I just echo all of Paul's sentiments pretty much.
Sunjammer?
I have no salt.
That's why you're the good.
But-
makes sense now.
Actually, real quick, I just want to say like if you're unhappy with the project, that's your right.
Mhm.
Like it's okay to be unhappy with the project. It's not some It's not some conspiracy that people are influencing people. I mean, people have tried, obviously, but at the end of the day, CIG speaks for themselves. And if you're not happy with things CIG is saying, then that's your right.
And all the evidence I've seen is they're completely okay with that.
Yeah, and especially if you're constructive about it. Like if you just go out there like shouting off like garbage, like obviously they're gonna be defensive. It's just human nature to be defensive when people just spout garbage at your face. But if you're constructive about it, like how we try to be,
Often
like,
they change things.
yeah, it's
Weird,
all
right?
the time they change things. Sometimes they don't. But yeah,
Fucking referral system. Fuck it, those fucking fucks.
On the plus side, the golf swing is no longer a thing.
yeah.
On the
And
negative side, the referral
Referral
system,
system is still a thing.
Yeah.
Sunjammer,
It's just,
sorry.
yeah, mostly just that. Like people got to remember, on both sides of the fence, it's okay to criticize the project. In fact, it's encouraged. We're part of the process, and it's like, don't like for people who are pro Star Citizen, don't look down on people who have concerns, like actual concerns, not brackets concerns.
Concern.
Yeah. But
And let me explain something real quickly. There are two types of people. There are trolls and there are people with actual concerns.
yeah.
Trolls only are there so that they can absorb something. Like, for instance, a lot of people were concerned that there's a person on my stream who shows up a lot who's named Knowledge Lambo.
Yo, I know
banned him a
Knowledge
long time
Lambo.
ago. Lots of people know Knowledge Lambo. In fact, he was accused on the Reddit of being the guy who did the fake 45,000 refund. It's not his style, and apparently it was fake. That was fake, anyways. But he is a good example of a troll who, if you let him speak his piece, and if nobody responds to him, he leaves.
Yep.
Generally speaking, he wants to get a rise out of you because he's like, lol, I'm gonna fuck with you. And if you don't fuck with him, or if you have a decent conversation with him, then he spoke his piece and he's done. And then there are people who actually have concerns who should be addressed. Like, their concerns need to be addressed by either CIG or by the community, and it's a discussion. It's not I hate the game. It's, I don't like this flight mechanic. Okay, well, let's talk about the flight mechanics. I don't like the stamina system. I think it's too complicated. Well, let's talk about it. That's something that can be worked on down the road.
Some of my
It's mostly just the fact that I see people on both sides jumping on people for having an opinion about Star Citizen.
opinions are like
And-
onions. Everyone's got them.
Oh. Okay. Anyway. No, but
I think
that's my thing. Is like
Opinions are like actor status systems. Everyone.
no, but that's my thing. Like, and I want to make this clear too. I'm going to speak as our community manager for a sec. In our chats, if you jump on people for being negative about CIG, that's against the rules. If people jump on you for being positive about CIG, that's also against the rules. Don't be a jerk. Just, you can talk about the game. Bad things are a part of the game. Good things are part of the game. There's good and bad. It's a video game. There's people involved. That's what happens. Yeah, that's it. Sunjam, it's
Can we
your
get
turn.
a little special overlay that when Jake goes into community manager mode, it just comes up?
It's like a filter.
Community announcement.
I will say this, though. Please don't be an utter bad troll or a complete white knight.
Be a
because,
good troll.
Like, be a good troll, and if you're gonna be a white knight, be a reasonable white knight. Because I'm
Yeah.
tired. I am tired of white knights coming in being like, CIG can do no wrong. I am expressing views that cults express. I'm like, that's the reason why we're called a cult everywhere, people. Stop doing it.
Your fault.
Sunjammer.
Oh.
Sunjammer, what are your thoughts here? I've been trying to get to you for a bit.
Now that the expectation is so high, I can only disappoint. I don't really understand it all, because my understanding was that, at least as far as CIG have been concerned, refunds have always been a thing. You've always been able to get a refund. They just didn't make a big announcement at it. They didn't promote it. It was just something that you contacted customer services and they sorted you out. And that was my understanding. It's been around since the day dot. So I don't know why people make a big song and dance about it.
I know in the past, under different staff, people would run into some issues.
Yeah, your mileage may differ on an individual basis.
Nowadays, there's a process.
Thanks to our good friend Proxys, actually. Good on Proxys, because he's actually the one who streamlined that whole thing. So.
Yep. It's now an option in a customer service ticket. There's a category.
I
for
want
it.
a refund category. So here's my thoughts. If you want a refund, if you really think that Star Citizen's going nowhere, ask for one. They'll probably give it to you. If you want to be a troll, don't. It's not fun. And if that's really what you enjoy in life, then you might want to reevaluate your life.
It's so much better to troll Destiny fans, anyways, because they get so angry.
Here's who you can troll. You can troll Jake. Troll Jake.
Yeah.
I 100% approve of Jake trolls. Other than that, why bother? Here's the thing.
Make sure when you're going on the subreddit, troll Papa Dovak. Whatever you do, just blame
Papa
everything that gets
is
wrong.
completely open.
And see, you got to be a good troll, because it's hard to get a rise out of me, because I've heard it all. I live on the internet, folks.
Oh, for people asking like what's going on, we're talking about the refund drama that happened this week.
We got a bit sidetracked. Sorry. Here's my thing. I don't care who you are, where you are, what you're talking about. Don't lie. There is no reason to lie, ever. Don't lie on the internet. Don't lie in person. Don't lie to your mother, your sister, your wife, your teacher. Just don't. Just don't fucking do it.
Spoken like a true Canadian.
Just don't fucking do it. Just don't. So, Bryvols asks, do you think that the new the new actor system, red and blackouts, will apply to other players not in the chair when flying? Currently, redouts and blackouts only occur in chairs.
Not only does it will we think it's happening, it actually was just showed off on the 3.0
live stream
for Gamescom. We actually saw players black out because of too much G's being put on them. So in the back of like a Cutlass.
Ronan42 asks, Erris, do you match your bow tie to your trousers? No, I've only got about 4 bow ties left that I can wear. The rest have been destroyed due to overuse, and I do not match them to anything. It's just whichever I pick up first.
Also, who the hell says Erris wears pants?
I'm actually wearing pants right now, but they're linen pants.
Heresy. Heresy.
They're linen pants, so they feel like motherfucking pajamas. Heresy. Idris Carrier asks, what are blockers for you?
Things that make the client not work, and things that make the thing you're trying to do not work.
Yeah, literally making the game literally unplayable, and I don't mean that like as in figuratively, because that now literally means figuratively, but because we live in a weird world. But
literally.
I'll be right back.
With the capital L.
Jake, it's your cast. Go.
Okay, we're moving on. Nikolai asks, so from what we have heard of the new space rocks, how much worse do you think flying through them will be? Because Paul keeps getting us drunk before we work.
Is that actually part of that?
Yes. I don't know. It's probably pretty hard. There's a lot of rocks.
Aren't they going to be procedurally?
Yeah.
Cameras, you may know this because you transcribe everything. So aren't they actually going to be movable? Like they're actually going to like have their own like movement inside within like a zone, but they're not going to be stagnant.
Well, the asteroids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They rotate, and
Yeah, they will rotate.
And I'm
I
back.
don't think they'll orbit the body, but I don't know. They might because they've got this orbiting entity now that they use for planets and moons. So the procedurally generated asteroids, that's just an entity. So maybe they could orbit and rotate. Be interesting.
I think that's going to make it difficult, though. I think it's going to be difficult to fly.
Yeah, asteroids coming at you.
So, Nikolai has a question. I assume it's for Paul.
we already.
Oh, you did?
We're
Okay.
done.
Cool.
Also,
I
the
need to
thing
get
to
wireless
remember
headphones
is-
again. Sorry.
The other thing to remember, the procedural
What the- What just happened?
asteroids actually mean that the asteroid fields are going to be a lot denser.
hmm
There.
I think
That's
we're
weird.
going to have the C-3PO
Ooh.
situation.
What
Whoa,
just
what the fuck happened?
I don't know.
Suddenly it's a Skype call.
I didn't do anything. It just changed.
What?
There we go.
Okay.
It's back. It just it changed from one scene to another without me touching anything.
I don't believe you.
Yeah.
I had to have touched
I
something.
swear. I hit Alt, which does nothing, and Tab, which does
All
nothing.
right. We've established this is my show now, so we're continuing.
Fuck!
We hamster smiley face.
I lost it.
What do you think the new ship that was mentioned this week's lore? What? Oh, will be there. I missed a will be in there. Do you think it has something to do with mercenaries? And do you think it'll be either from Consolidated Outland or Aegis?
Consolidated Outland and Aegis combined will be making this, and it's going to be a construction ship. It's the game changer ship. It's what we know.
I want more.
We don't know
Consolidated
it,
Outland
Paul.
ships.
We
As I
just
was saying,
theorize heavily.
As I was
Listen,
saying
Paul has
before
it
the
officially
podcast,
from CIG
We
because
could
he
be-
is employed by them.
Yeah, totally shill for them.
Hashtag
Like,
shill.
I totally have so much money from CIG right now.
Well,
Fucking
yeah.
Well, I wish.
negative
I wish.
money.
I wish
Yeah.
too. Can you like set us up too? Because we could use some.
Negative money.
God damn it, man.
No, I was telling these guys before the show, or maybe it's during the show. I don't even know anymore. We haven't had a consolidated Outland ship in 3 years.
And we
This is the
get
first
that
one.
Consolidated Outland's supposed to be like Tesla, but you know what Tesla's making? A pickup truck.
Tesla's making a pickup truck.
You know
right
what
now.
Tesla's making? A fucking automated 18-wheeler truck. You know what also?
Yeah.
What is Tesla making? Oh, they're just making fucking rocket ships. Whatever.
Yep.
Tesla and SpaceX are the same thing. I don't care.
I'm probably gonna get a Model 3. let's
I'm
be
gonna
real.
try and get a Model 3.
I'm actually going to try to go for that pickup truck when it comes, because I actually have a truck. It's an older truck that needs to get like retired because it's almost 20 years
Can
old.
you
Hey
lease-
Tesla, are you looking for an excellent marketing opportunity to at least 20s of people? Donate your vehicles to
My
staff
car,
at relay.sc.
my car is leased, so I have to make a vehicle buying decision in about 2 years or so. So
You know what? I really like
honestly
my
believe
car
that
is
all
owned
of Elon
outright.
Musk's companies are linked together. Like they all like
yeah.
Solar City, Tesla, and SpaceX are all part of a grand plan for Elon Musk to colonize Mars.
It is.
SpaceX
Yes.
to get there, Tesla to drive around, and Solar
And
City
that's
to
the only
power it.
reason why I want to buy a Tesla.
He's
is I
said
wanna
that.
fund Mars.
And the boring company is going to be how he like builds
No, no.
underground cities in
Paul,
Mars. Like that's
Paul,
what he's going to do.
He's actually said that that's fact.
Guys,
Like-
is
like the-
Elon Musk Bruce Willis from Armageddon?
Yes.
Yeah. No, he's Batman. No, he's Tony Stark. He's not Batman. He's Tony Stark. He's Tony Stark.
But is he also
That's
Bruce
it.
Willis from Armageddon because he drills?
Yes.
Okay.
It's actually really unfortunate that we don't have Nakara here, because Nakara could school us all on everything Elon Musk has ever said. But I think we should someday persuade Nakara to run a podcast extravaganza focused on the glory that is Elon Musk and all of his accoutrements. Jake,
Sorry,
what's our next
you went a
question?
bit French there. At the
The
end.
next question
What?
is
Parle
let's-
français,
let's
veux-tu?
let's read the last question here. This one.
This is the last one?
No. Zale's question.
Yeah,
That'll be the last one.
that'll be the last one.
Okay. Nikolai has 2 questions. Actually, 3 questions. Wait, 4 questions.
Nikolai,
Yes,
what the
Nikolai.
hell?
When they finally implement duct tape / turtle tape, well, when will they? I guess he dropped a word.
Soon, TM.
Who will be the first person you strap to the hull of your ship and travel as far as it takes for them to fall
Jake.
off the ship?
Jake.
Yeah, it's come on, guys. This
Jake will volunteer.
question. I'll volunteer, guys. The first thing I'm gonna do is skydive onto a planet. Like this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna PUBG Delamar. Okay.
Jake
By
will actually
PUBG,
turn up
he's not.
with his own duct tape.
We're
And
Just
he'll be
gonna
like, strap
we're-
me, strap me.
We're just gonna fill a starfare full of people. We're gonna fly over Delamar, and then people jump out.
and then die as they hit the ground.
Oh yeah, there are no parachutes
No
yet, so you're fucking dead. But it'll be fun anyway.
It'll be fun. All right. And then Nikolai says we'll be able to make people part of the ship, part of the crew, so we can be Dread Pirate Bob. I think he wants a Davy Jones type situation.
The only answer to that is yes, yes, and maybe.
Yeah. Okay. So
Entertain them,
Nighthawk
cats.
Zale asks, this is going to be our last question. Feel free to continue submitting questions. We will get to them next week. But I like this question because I like pointing out how dumb people are sometimes. Some people have expressed concerns to me after watching the not you, Nighthawk Zale. I love you.
Yeah, Nighthawk. Let's be clear here. Nighthawk Zale is awesome.
Well, it's the people he's talking about in this question.
Yeah.
He says some people have expressed concerns to me after watching this week's ATV. They took away an understanding that 3.0 is being stripped down in order to release to Evocati and have something out for CitizenCon. I don't see it that way. What is your take on how they're handling 3.0 prep for Evocati release and beyond? Guys, listen. You obviously didn't listen to... Oh my god, Siri has been recording like everything I've been saying. It's still happening. I looked at my phone. I'm like, why is my phone freaking out? And it's recording me.
Simba.
But no, we talked about this. People obviously weren't listening hard enough. People can't use like their ear holes, and there's a breakdown between the ear holes and the brain holes. No, they reprioritized some bugs. They moved them not into the blocker for Evocati list. They're still there. The features are all still there. In fact, like 3.0 is bigger than it was in January. So, like, they just made it so that Evocati can get the build faster so they can help them test.
Now, some of those bugs may have been smashed. Also, it's important to understand that some of those 50 bugs may have actually been smashed. I don't think all of them have. I think a lot of those were just been like, you know what, fuck it, it's not actually blocking.
Here's
release
the
of
thing that
Evocati.
people don't really understand. The what is now 26 blockers left. Let's take last week. The 76 blockers. That is not 76 bugs left before the game is ready to release. That is 76 bugs that CIG don't feel ready to give to the people that test it before it gets released to the pre-test that's just 76 bugs that they want to get done before they release it to public testers. That means there's probably 250 bugs left to fix, at least maybe 1,000. Who fucking knows?
It's somewhere around 3,000.
Like there's a ridiculous fucking amount of actual issues. The number of issues between when they give it to us and when it's actually done is huge. They're not trying to make it 100% done before they give it to us. It's not gonna fucking happen. Why do you think we have 2.6.1 alpha A, B, C, D, E, F, G, Z, Z1, Z12? Like, they go on for fucking ever patching, because guess what? It's a fucking alpha game, you fucking cunt nuggets.
So
Wow.
if I can just quote from the schedule. It said, while the number of the bugs were simply resolved due to the team's usual endeavors, our director's reviews have been keenly focused on the core player loops, which has led to a redefinition of must fix. So that's must fix for Evocati. So yeah, they basically they fixed some of the bugs, they recategorized some of the bugs because they weren't going to be in that initial Evocati test. Now, with regards to whether or not they've cut down 3.0, there was a post on Reddit where Spectrum Ben, who turns out to actually be Disco Lando, yeah, clarified that they are getting the same 3.0 build that they were always going to get. It's going to have all the features that it had, but they are just going to have a directed, and the Evocati always have a directed test program. You know, someone will come on and say, everyone go to Port Alisar, stand in a big line, and all fire your weapons at one time. Not Port Alisar, sorry, Korea. That sort of thing. You know, they do very specific tests, and that's why the Evocati isn't for everyone.
And I was told back in CitizenCon of last year, I talked with Proxus, who's one of the people who's behind the ETF. He said specifically back then that they were going to do directed testing for very small groups or very specific areas of the game for the ETF to test, so that they can like stress test how many people they can get into the servers and then on Delmar at the same time. So this is not something that like they just came up with on the whim. This is something they've been doing for a long time and been planning to do with 3.0 for a while.
It's another thing that people always complain about, that oh, it's like we're in alpha, everybody should be testing. It's just a tired argument. Evocati get it, because and then it goes to PTU in waves, and then it goes to live in waves, because one, the Evocati are there because they're the ones who report bugs the most, so they're the ones who get in first, because they want to get rid of some bugs before they go to live release. But two, most importantly, they're scaling up servers. They're making sure that people don't, like, the servers don't all crash when everybody tries to connect at once. So a good way to do that is by gradually ramping up how many people have access to it. It's how it works.
Yeah, so because a bug might not happen when you've got 50 people on. It might not happen when you've got 500 people on. But then you hit 5,000 people, and suddenly you get a bug that's
you just gotta
there.
So I'd like to take a moment to apologize for my language earlier. My eye was twitching. I was frustrated. I apologize. I'm sorry. That said, take a minute and look at what you do in life and who you harass and who you interact with and how you interact with them. And just remember that we are all here for a limited amount of time. Is your time really best spent attacking a video game that you may or may not care about and may or may not come out? And honestly, who really gives a fuck? It's a video game. Like, hug your parents. Go see people that you love and try and enjoy life. And if life is enjoyed by harassing other people and trying to make other people feel like shit, then maybe you've got some issues that you should probably consider sorting out. Just try to be happy, everyone, all the time, because that's what we're here for, and that's all that matters. And I hope you all enjoyed listening to this episode of the Relay Station. Go check out the Astro Pub in 2 hours.
Speaking of being happy, since there's two of us on here, hey, if you want to go to CitizenCon but you can't go to Germany, maybe you should go to VerseCon.
You should.
I'll be there.
.com.
And
it's the largest North American fan convention, possibly even the largest fan convention in the world for Star Citizen.
And if you're going to CitizenCon and you feel like writing stuff for a site...
Don't do this.
What? I have to. It's my job.
We got people. We'll ask some people.
We'll ask some people.
We got nobody going to CitizenCon.
We got no one going to CitizenCon.
Go to relay.sc/foreign correspondent/recruitment.
We don't actually have that, but there is relay.sc/ let me look it up. More /
So let me look me up.
Contribute. Relay.sc/contributing. You can go there if you want to contribute to relay.sc.
Is it contribute or contributing?
It's actually contributing. I'm not sure why. We might have to look into that.
Okay.
If you know how to develop a website.
You didn't let me finish about VerseCon. VerseCon is a beautiful thing. It's in Austin, Texas, downtown. It's on East 6th Street. It's going to be wonderful. There's going to be video games. There's going to be...
We're going to have VR experience. We're going to have fan panels. We're going to have... we're talking about some other things like actually being able to interact with your favorite streamers and content creators, like on stage, live, that kind of stuff, like play with them and stuff like that. There's lots of cool things. So, sorry.
Play with them. We're going to have... it is 21 plus, so be aware before you buy a ticket. It does yell at you that it is 21 plus before you buy a ticket, but I'm yelling at you now.
There will be alcohol.
There will be alcohol.
There will also be ID checkers.
Yes. So yeah. But check it out. It's gonna be a good time. It's 2 days. 2 days. It's going to be Friday where we all hang out and love each other and watch some CIG presentation-ness. And then some other stuff afterwards because it's in the middle of the afternoon. So why stop the day in the middle of the day? And then Saturday is going to be more of that stuff, panels and video games and fun times. So yeah, come to VerseCon. It'll be a good time. Follow us on Twitter, VerseCon TX.
What time is CitizenCon happening in Texas?
Like 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock, yeah.
Yeah.
In the afternoon.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
So yeah.
And honestly, your CIG is not going to be like CitizenCon's not actually going to start at 2 o'clock. It'll start at like 4. You know,
maybe.
Hopefully,
Maybe.
we'll see.
Well, I don't know. It's in Germany. They're very efficient, so you know.
It's still CIG.
in the way that Hollywood isn't.
But yeah, no, and it's gonna be a good time. You all should check it out. You really should come down. It is a fantastic. It's gonna be a fantastic time. Esports, lots of other cool things. And I'm sorry, but like just not a lot of people does. In fact, the captain's table is not going to be on the Astro Pub channel today. It's going to be on the VerseCon channel today.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to make sure that we /host that instead.
Yes.
Twitch.tv/VerseConTX.
Yeah.
TX stands for Texas for those of you uninitiated. Because that's where VerseCon is. I don't know if you heard me say that, but that's where it is. If you don't believe me, well, it's in the name. So
thank you all for coming out tonight or today, whatever we are, and watching us. Go watch Mr. Pub in a bit. Check us out next week, same time, same channel.
By the way, also the 1,000 follower giveaway ended. Congrats to Erris and someone else that I don't remember his name. I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. I don't know where it went. You sent it.
I sent it. Sent it. He got the gift card. It has been done. It is completed. Congrats to the winners.
Yes, congrats to the winners. Thank you all for following all of our things ever. We're now well over 1,000 followers on both Twitch and Twitter, so that is excellent. So thanks for all your support, and we love you.
Apparently, there is also a Not So Sober Saturday this night, so go check that out as well over with GHG. Podsat Saturday. Watch them all. Catch them all. Collect them all. Hate them all.
I want to be the very best.
Like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test. To train them.
Are we just dragging this shit out?
It's my cost. Yes. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Sunjammer, Sunjammer, Paul, Jake. Wait, no. Sunjammer and Paul, thank you for being on. Jake,
here, well, I'm gonna close it out.
I wanted to say, love yourselves, love your family, love your friends.
Listen up. Here's the story.
Okay, go,
about
Jake.
A little guy who lives in a blue world. And all day and all night and everything he sees is just blue.
Good night, everyone. See you later.
Inside and outside, blue his house, the blue little window, and a blue Corvette, and everything is blue for him and himself.